One of the NHL's quirkiest traditions is throwing random stuff on the ice after certain things happen in a game. These items can range from as mundane as a baseball cap to as outlandish as an entire octopus. But today, we're talking about the Florida Panthers and the legend of the rat. Welcome back to the 25 Days of Sportsmas, the series where every day I'm telling you a story about sports that I think would get you into them for the first time. In the NHL, you're going to see hockey fans throw various things onto the ice in celebration. Some of these traditions happen across multiple teams, like throwing hats onto the ice after a player gets a hat trick, which, if you're new to hockey, is when a single player scores 3 goals within one game. But some of the weirder traditions are actually individualized to specific teams. If you were here for last year's Sportsmas, you know about the legend of the octopus in Detroit. But today, because of how many new Brad Marchand fans we've made during Sportsmas, we're going to talk about the Florida Panthers and why they throw plastic rats onto the ice after they win a game. Right now, the Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. But back in 1995, they had never even made it to the playoffs. During the home opener of the 95-96 season, the Florida Panthers were playing against the Calgary Flames. But before the game, while the Panthers were in the locker room getting ready, they were shocked to find a rat scurry into the room. One of the Panthers had no problem grabbing a stick and whacking that rat. With the problem resolved, the Panthers headed out onto the ice, and they ended up winning that game against Calgary 4-3. But 2 of those goals were scored by Scott Mellanby, the hero of the locker room, and the team dubbed his 2 goals that night a rat trick. During the next game, when a goal was scored, a fan actually threw a plastic rat onto the ice. And instead of it being a one-off situation, the Panthers fans caught on and continued throwing plastic rats onto the ice all season when goals were scored. And when it came time for the playoffs at the end of that season, the Florida Panthers qualified for the playoffs for the very first time in franchise history. And coincidentally, according to the Chinese zodiac, 1996 was the year of the rat. By the time the Panthers started their playoff run, thousands of rats were being thrown onto the ice during these games. And while the Panthers organization did not officially say it was okay to throw rats onto the ice, they actually ended up bringing on a new sponsor, Orkin, and hiring rink attendants to dress up like exterminators and clear the ice after every Florida Panthers goal. And there were a lot of rats to clean up because the Panthers ended up making it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Ultimately, they lost to the Colorado Avalanche, and Colorado fans started throwing rat traps onto the ice in response. But this was still the best run the team had ever had. But the celebration, which was actively delaying the game in order to clear the ice, did result in the league making a new rule the following season, stating that celebrations that delayed a game in this way could result in the home team actually receiving a delay of game penalty. The tradition came back to life during the 2011-2012 season. Nowadays, you'll see plastic rats thrown onto the ice after a home game win rather than every single goal scored by the Florida Panthers. And last year, it became even more fun when Brad Marchand, whose nickname is the Rat King, found himself traded to the Florida Panthers and going on a pretty great run with them. So that's why you see plastic rats thrown on the ice after a Florida Panthers win. Be sure to follow along and come back tomorrow for the next day of Sportsmas.